some of those issues, some of those nagging questions in Football League, and I hope that the next stanza will be better. But that takes me to the next thing I was about to ask you about player welfare. It's early in the day, I know, but in terms of welfare, as the players, have they fared better in the first 19 months in terms of their welfare, issues about salaries and all that, the things we hear in comparison to, say, the previous season? Have you seen changes?
Well, I mean, if you dig deep into the affairs of some of these clubs, I think some of them are owing. They are owing their players' salaries. I think apart from Pillars, and I also know of National United because they have kind of included the salaries of players,
linked it with the civil service.
So they get their salaries as at when due. Maybe one or two other clubs, there are still issues. Some are owing more than the others. For instance, in Shooting Stars, since November we learned players have not received their salaries. Some are owing 4 months. Like before we came on air, learned that Rangers too are owing. These are clubs that ordinarily you would not believe that they are owing. But the reasons are very obvious to all of us. The economy in the country is somehow very low because of dwindling oil revenue. Most of these clubs get their money from government. So,
state governments.
So that brings us to alternatives, options. This club chairman should not just sit down and go cap in hand to state government all the time. I think if you...
There should be ways to generate revenue.
If you are creative, your state governor or government will not stop you from generating money. I think before the season started, Shooting Stars got a buzz from a betting company. These are the ways. These are the ways to generate money. You can leverage on that. Get some of the brands that are associated with football. Promise them 1 or 2 things that are visible, transparent, and orderly. They're going to key into it. But if you wait all the time waiting for government have other contending issues. These are politicians. They have to build schools, hospitals, provide other amenities to the citizens of the people. Sometimes we argue that they should love football, but you see, when they are under pressure, there are other things that they have to give priorities to. So I think for the club administrators, they also have to look inwards. The LMC can organize seminars like they've been doing for them, so that they look at other variables, other options to generate money for their clubs.
Okay, since we are talking about finances and it's cropping up again, do you think this might be an issue when this second stanza starts? As a matter of fact, will the second stanza, the league management company chairman would have been in a very good position to answer that. But from what you gather, do you think, now that we're still talking about financial issues, some clubs owing players, do you think there will even be money to prosecute matches, to carry out some of the things that the club is supposed to do when you are hosting matches?
Yeah, I had wanted to ask him that question too, because I don't think the second stanza is going to start this weekend. I've made independent investigation. I've spoken to some club chairman who doesn't want their name in print, want their names mentioned for obvious reasons, but they are growing under serious financial issues. And some of them are saying that they can't possibly start the second stanza because they don't have money. Playing even at home requires a lot of money. You have to put the players in camp sometimes, put them in a hotel, feed them and all those things. So it requires a lot of money, much more money playing away. The price of fuel has increased. So these players, they travel by road, and you require more fuel to travel. So
this was what you were talking about earlier. Yes. Enyimba and Abia Warriors looking for alternative means of raising funds, and that is also something that could help now that some of the club chairmen are saying they may not just be ready.
Yeah, I think this one happened in Umuahia last weekend. The Abia State governor, donating. I think it was the government that donated these 2 buses to Abia Warriors and Enyimba to ease their transportation issues. We've had clubs travel and their buses get broken down in the middle of nowhere. The players' lives are at risk. They don't get to their destination as at when due, and this could affect their performance when they stay long hours in the forest,
they don't
waiting
get
for
adequate
the
rest.
buses to get repaired, and they don't get adequate rest, maybe getting to the venue few hours to the game, there's no way it won't affect them. So I think we must commend the Abia State government. But like we said, the administrators too must do much more. You know, they must, especially the traditional clubs that have massive followership. A club like Shooting Stars that have more than 5 million, followers shouldn't be complaining of.
Even if the state government neglects,
shouldn't be complaining of lack of funds.
Yeah.
Should
be able to leverage.
We shouldn't even be going to North Africa or Europe. In Ghana here, most of the clubs are not owned by government, and they manage to to sustain themselves, pay whatever you have agreed with the players, prosecute their addition, and when they sell players, it's so much transparent. Like Sheikh Diko said, there must be transparency so that all the stakeholders would benefit. What happens is that so many things are wrong with the transfer policy, but in terms of revenue drive, I think these club owners should do much more.
Okay, before I let you go, let's just talk about Enyimba, since we're still talking about Abia State. I want a quick response from you. Do you think there'll be a lot of pressure? Now they're almost getting back to the top, and they're still in 3 competitions. You look at, and I know it's a team that you're very close to. You look at all of this, will it not bring distraction to the team? How focused do you think they will be fighting on 3 fronts?
Well, if you are a big team, you have to justify that why you are a big team, and that's why I think the management of the club, headed by Felix Anyasiago, always every season they try to fortify the team. They try to ensure that the team does not lack depth and quality. So if you have such players in your camp, I don't see any reason why you should not compete for honors in 3 fronts. The FA Cup. What the coaches need to do is simply put on their thinking caps. You have solid players. You can build one of the first team, second team, and ensure that the quality still remains the same. Sometimes, if the players are informed, if they are able to weather the storm, you can still use the same team and prosecute whatever tournament you are involved in. So for me, it's not an excuse. The bigger the challenges, that shows that you are a big team. They have qualified for the group stages of the CAF Champions League. They are still in the Federations Cup. They are still, jostling for the league title. So I think for me, it's a good thing, and they have the squad
to deal with it. Okay.
I
want to thank you for your time on the show. I'm hoping we're still going to be able to do this next week. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll cross borders. We'll travel all the way to South America. And of course, we will be talking about Copa America. Join us again.